Hello, viewers. Welcome back. I took the day off yesterday, unplugged from the TV, unplugged from the computer, and have been thinking, of course, about New Zealand and what is going on there. And besides doing a reading tonight for you on that, I would also like to light a candle and invoke some archangel energy here. I've already pulled cards. I'm going to be using the Akashic deck. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Akashic deck, the Akashic records, it's where all knowledge is stored, all experiences, all everything we've learned from every lifetime and everyone, every soul. All information is stored there. If you ever study Edgar Cayce, he talks quite a bit about the Akashic records, and I love this deck. I absolutely love the imagery on it and the meanings of the cards. So before I start, though, you'll hear I've got some channeled harp music playing in the background. Not sure if you'll hear it or not on the video, but I'm just going to ask Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, and Archangel Uriel to step forward and join us for this reading. To bring healing to those who are still in the hospital in New Zealand. To bring healing and love and comfort to those who lost loved ones. To bring healing and comfort to those of us who have been upset by the news. We ask for protection for the mosque, both in New Zealand and anywhere in the world. We ask for protection for anyone of various religious beliefs, protection from terrorists who would go into their places of worship. And we thank you for supporting us and helping to bring comfort to all of us in this difficult time. So the Akashic cards, I'm just going to let my candle burn here. I use tea lights. I like to let my tea lights burn completely down. And if I use pillar candles, I have a tendency to not watch them and almost catch the house on fire. So I use tea lights. I set them somewhere safe where the cats won't jump on them. Of course, being on my table, I have to watch out for Lucy, right? But I set them somewhere where I can allow them to burn completely down when I invoke the archangels. And so going to the Akashic cards and looking at what happened in New Zealand, the first card that came out is the Two of Forces. And the Two of Forces is called the Willow. And the willow tree is one of the strongest trees that there is. It has a very deep root system, even though it's planted here on the banks of a river or stream. The roots are deep in the ground, which tells you it's a well-grounded in earth energy, just as we need to ground in earth energy. But the willow is also, it's very flexible. Besides being strong, it's flexible. It bends and sways without breaking. So it tells us, that our strength comes from within, our flexibility, our sense of calm and peace, finding our power from within and moving to that center. I don't call it being self-centered. I called it being a centered self or self-centered. So emphasis on being centered and grounded and finding the calm within when you're facing difficult times like these. The next card is called Six of Roses is called the War of the Roses. And you see two lines of knights here. Sorry, I have to watch out. I have a candle below me now, right? There's a white flag on this side, which stands for spirit energy. There's a red rose on this side. Stands for passion and fears and needs. Letting passions, rule is always going to kind of get away from you. So it's usually fear-based. This card talks about a war within relationships and the need for listening, the need for grounding our energy first, as the willow tree shows. The red rose, the passions and the fears and needs that we may have keep us from listening. They distract us. It gets, the ego gets involved when there's passion. So it's about trying to integrate more of our spirit energy, knowing when to leave the battlefield, knowing when a war is an illusion, that no one can win. There's a dirty flag down here on the ground showing surrender at some point, but also it's showing trying to integrate the two. And sometimes you just have to leave the battlefield. What's interesting to me in looking at New Zealand and any of these terrorist attacks done by white nationals, what they forget is in attacking other religions, immigrants, whatever their anger gets focused on, that in going in and doing attacks like this, it riles up the other side of the extremes. So it will rile up like ISIS to recruit more, as opposed to treating immigrants and treating people of other religions with respect and humanity and compassion and love, coming from a place of love and spirit energy. We have to, as people who are watching this happening, we have to find our spirit energy and bring into the conscious world. We have to show what is illusion and project that calm, that sense of calm out into the world. A lot of times people who do these things feel like they're not being heard. So maybe it's time for us, instead of complaining about it all so much and this type of hate rhetoric that goes on, to take the time to listen to them until they've completely gotten it out of their system. Not just listening and then firing back our views at them, but almost like a therapist, where they let you talk and talk and talk until it's out of you. And when it's out and you're drained, then the healing begins. I know we don't like to give energy to or power to someone who is spewing hate rhetoric. I agree. But at the same time, on a one-to-one basis, if you have people in your area, even those who are Trump supporters that you may disagree with. I have a very good friend who's a Trump supporter. We've chosen not to talk about it to keep from breaking up the friendship. But when she does go there, I let her talk and talk and talk and talk until she's talked out before I try to speak back. And I don't speak back in a way that is projecting my feelings about Trump, but asking her questions. Well, how does it make you feel when you hear this? And doing it from her point. Let her find her own voice from her point of view. Let her express from her point of view how it makes her feel. I don't know. You guys can comment down below advice for dealing with people that are difficult or have different views. Um, yeah, the next card is called the Lookout. And the Lookout, he's up in the crow's nest on the ship. He's so busy looking out to the horizon, he doesn't see that the flames are on his own ship, that they're right here and they're coming up towards where he is. And he needs to be getting to safety, but it's like he's completely unaware. It's right there on his own ship. So, although we have to make plans and look to the future and look to the far horizons, sometimes we got to look under our own feet, right where we are, and find where the passions are boiling over and flaming up. Um, it's interesting because this card, it talks about also, whenever you have someone, this sailor with the binoculars, you always want to look at where the binoculars are pointing, and they're pointing back to the War of the Roses. So it's where a lot of the conflict and a lot of the passions are arising from, and it's pointing back to power plays and lack of communication and reciprocity. There's no communication on this battlefield. They're just facing off against each other. So again, learning to listen to each other, honoring each other. And then the last card is called the Four of Roses. Roses are always about love. This is called Views of the Ego. And there's a man there who's admiring himself in a mirror. There's two other men standing beside him, but he doesn't see them. All he sees is himself. This is a person who is very unlikely to change. He's someone that's so absorbed in his ego that his plans and his admiration, it's all about him. It's all about him. And these other two people who are, standing there with them, they're giving so much energy to him that they're not making their own plans. They're not looking at their own selves. And they're not seeing themselves. He's certainly not seeing them. He doesn't care about them. It's kind of a balance. It's like we have to learn to listen to each other, but we also have to know when to detach from someone who doesn't care about us and doesn't probably may never care, because this person is not someone who has the ability to change. Even when confronted with disasters, that person is still going to be very ego driven. They incarnated in this lifetime, to try to help and heal that. But we have to know when's the right time to sit and listen, when's the right time to pull back and detach. The last card I want to look at is on the bottom of the deck. And this is called the Five of Forces, Summer Winter. It's winter when it's this way. You see this beautiful winter scene. It's summer when it's this way. Summer, winter, it's about yin and yang, male, female. Summer being yang and activity. We always get outside and we're more active in the summertime. Winter, yin, going within. Active within, still active, but active within. We're less active in the winter time, and sometimes, our souls, we need those times, whether it's summer or winter outside, we need those times to go within. We need those times to get out and move around. This card shows that as a whole, we are united. We are everything. We're interdependent. We need winter to send the fields into dormancy so that we can have crops in the summer. We need the dark and the light. without darkness, we don't appreciate the light as much. Negative and positive. All the opposites that you think of are completely opposite, but they're interconnected. Just as we are on this planet, expanding and contracting. They're actually complementary to each other because we need both. It's all interconnected. We're all united. We're all in this world together. When we're in spirit on the other side, as a medium, I know we come to understand a lot more than we do here on Earth, but we're all interconnected, and the more that we can understand that and help others to understand that, I think we'll reach a time where we have less violence in the world. I'm probably talking centuries off. It's taken us a long time to get this far, right? Anyway, take time for yourself. If you need to take time to go within, if you need time to talk to someone, a loved one, if you feel your views aren't being heard, or if you're afraid to go out because you're afraid someone will do something, to you or your loved ones, reach out, communicate, talk to each other, talk here, in our comments. We're all united in this. So I thank you all for your support. Again, my heart goes out to those who have lost loved ones in New Zealand, and those who are in the hospital, as well as to the people of New Zealand. I've been to New Zealand before. It's one of the most beautiful countries I've ever been to. And the people there, I find, I don't know, there's something about the beauty of the country that I think just kind of makes people seem more spiritual. I know we're all the same everywhere we go, but it just seems like people are very loving, non-violent. So it was quite upsetting to see something so violent happen in a country like that. But know that all of us in this world, we're all united. We're all interdependent. We're all in this together. And we're all here for you, New Zealand. Thank you for watching.